Hello everybody, it's Joshua again, and as promised, we'll talk about art of asking questions. I will divide this video into probably one or two series because I was going to talk about it in one take, but I don't think it's possible. So, well, first, why is this topic important? I think you will agree or at least admit that we Koreans aren't really good at asking questions in general. Even for those who make a living for asking questions, the so-called journalists, I don't think they're particularly good at it. Why is this the case? It's because we are not really trained to do so. I think that is the biggest reason. We are taught, for older generations especially, we are told to stay silent and sit and listen to the teachers rather than put your hands up and asking questions. Don't interrupt the teacher is the praise that we often heard as children. But yes, of course, asking questions is important. And in this video, I like to highlight etiquette or the attitude that we should be having when asking questions, right? I think Koreans or Korean children even have this attitude of feeling guilt when it comes to asking questions, or they seem as if they are in the wrong for having questions in their head. I do not know why this is the case. It's possible that teachers or parents had put fear in their hearts if they ask questions. Too many questions, stop asking. But students, really, children, listen. You shouldn't feel any guilt. You shouldn't feel that you are doing something wrong by asking questions. In fact, you are entitled to do so. As students, you are encouraged to ask questions. In fact, I would even go so far to say that it is your obligation to ask questions if things are not so clear to you. So asking questions should be a natural thing. No one should condemn you for asking questions, and nor should you feel that you are being punished or that you are in the wrong for asking questions. So don't ever feel that way, okay? Right. Okay, I'm glad that we established that. And so, what are the tips? How can we ask good questions, great questions? I was thinking long and hard about this, and rather than by giving you some tips about asking questions, maybe it's more effective for me to classify types of questions that you could be asking. So I have classified types of questions into three categories, right? So the first type of question that you can ask, probably the easiest and snappiest and most spontaneous type of question that you can ask is clarifying questions. Like questions that starts with what is something, or what do you mean by this type of questions. So it is simple, it's easy to ask this type of questions, but the danger, of course, is that you may have to interrupt the speaker by asking these questions. So look for the right moment. Well, at least at Turboniz, we always encourage our students to raise their hands and ask questions right away, because I think it's better to ask questions that way. If you're not really trained, it's better to spit out and speak out than stay silent. So even if this means that students are interrupting the class, we encourage them to speak out and ask questions. But you should be careful. In different settings, you really shouldn't be interrupting the speaker. So when asking this type of question, clarifying questions, ask for the right moment, or even better, ask for the speaker to invite you. Speakers will ask, are there any questions? Then that's the moment you can raise your hand and ask those questions. So type number one is very simple. What is this? What do you mean by this type of questions? It's no-brainer. Anybody can do this. All right, so second type of question, or more slightly skilled type of question, is what I would call confirmation type of question. So what is confirmation? To be able to ask this type of questions, you need to be thinking along with the speaker or the teacher. And you need to summarize your thought and basically ask, am I right in understanding that this is what you're saying? Am I following you correctly by thinking that in this way? So you see, you are partly presenting your idea, you are summarizing your idea and articulating it, and to see and check if what you understood corresponds or is in line with what speaker is saying. And let me tell you, my friends, if you can ask this type of question right, teachers will love you. They will love you, absolutely love you. Why? Because this basically proves that you are listening intently and that you are also able to process your thought. You are also sharing the process of your thought. And by doing so, you are greatly benefiting the other people around you. You are benefiting the entire class. And by sharing your thought, you are also educating. You are keeping everyone sharp. Other students will also hear what you have to say about this topic, and they will learn from your thought process too, even if it's not really correct or wrong even. So it's highly beneficial, and teachers will love you for it because you're openly sharing your thought, you are checking to see if you're thinking right, and teachers can also see that, oh, this is how you are understanding. Also, this is how the message is being received. So this also gives them the chance to reflect on what's being taught. So this is really, if you can do this, it's great. But this takes practice, of course. I really encourage students to do this. It's harder than the first type, of course, but you just need to be bold and open about your thought. And you, of course, you need some skills to articulate your ideas. So please do practice this, okay? All right, now the third type of question, and to my mind, the highest form of question that you could be asking to anybody is question about application type of question. Why is this the highest? Why is this the most difficult type of question you could be asking? Maybe you can imagine. Well, okay, first, application means, or application type of question sounds like this. We've learned about concept A, and why is that B that we are learning now doesn't behave in the similar or the same way as A? Or if A is like this, why isn't B like A? Or we've learned something about concept A previously. How does A differ from the concept B which you're learning now? And this type of comparison, applying, connecting dots type of questions is really the pinnacle of questions, I think. I think you can see why this type of question can be hard, because first you really need to know about the question you are asking. You need a certain level of understanding before connecting dots or before you apply the things that you taught before. So this basically means that if you're asking this type of question, it means that you are being analytic. And of course, teachers and examiners love to see that type of thought process going on. You are not just swallowing everything in. You are being critical, you are thinking critically, and you are analyzing, and you are also comparing, contrasting the similar concepts that you learned previously. And well, this is type of question that will get you A. They get you A+, in your essays. This is really what teachers strive for their students to reach. I will confess, I could only ask this type of questions in my mid-20s probably, while I was doing the master's degree. It's because professor, in fact, encouraged us to ask this type of questions. Someone, in fact, told me to do so. So you see, unless you are taught type of questions that you could be asking, I don't think people can ask good questions. I think we need to be explicit like this. Although this is very short video and I cannot go in details, but you really need to be taught or be trained in asking questions. And we need to do more of this in South Korea especially. And to be able to do that, we need some sort of an introductory course like this. So I know I talked about 3 types of questions briefly, but maybe I will go in detail in future. But there you have it, 3 types of questions you could be asking. I hope this has been helpful. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Just open your mouth, shoot, see what happens, okay? All right, hope this has been helpful. Bye-bye.